Hey, well, I thought I would save this stream for the 4 o'clock shadow. I wanted to just stream this quick stream and video record it. Can't do that on Restream. Tried it on uh, StreamYard, and it said you got to free up some space. Well, I did a lot of it, and it still wouldn't do it. So here we are doing it live. Um, what are we doing? Well, I'm showing you some recent eBay activity. Uh, is this valuable? This is X-Men #1, not coverless, going for on auction 28 bids, $102.50 plus 1750. So we're talking almost $128 here. What for? Page 13, which is this scene with Iceman and Angel in the danger room, in the training room, uh, from X-Men #1, yes, but one page, graded, not really graded, but slabbed. It has an ad on the back, as you can see here. This was a recent sale from yesterday, which we're just slipping into the 3rd. This February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Dillard in the house. How you doing, Dillard? Um, so, would you buy just a page of from the great X-Men #1? Uh, a lot of people wouldn't. They would think that that's worthless. It's trash. It's just one page. It's from the early 60s. It's not even a golden age, like a page from the first Batman, from the first Action Comics. Uh, it's from the early 60s. So about 60 years old. 60 years old, one page goes for almost $120 with action on one side and an ad on the other. Okay. Now, it's been a while since I've covered coverless comics on here. Uh, let's see. Currently not bidding on anything, but let's see. Had this all keyed up and now it's screwed up, but whatever. Uh, I did bid on some Golden Age stuff recently. Nothing heavy, nothing heavy. Uh, they had a pretty good deal. Let's see, go to page 2 here. And that should have what I'm looking for on it. Some Australian and let me stick with the coverless comics right now. And then we'll go on to the other. They had just shopped similar items. As you can see lined up here. Where's my link at? Okay. I'll just drop it in the chat for you, Dillard. Which you can't on Restream. You really can't do because it's screwed up, or I've not figured out how to do that yet. But I'll do it in YouTube here. Just take a second, my friend. You're probably up drawing a. There we go. There's your link in the chat. I'll be listening for the bloop. This $57 here, 6 bids, has not ended yet. This is amazing. The one on the left, Amazing Fantasy, Spider-Man's first appearance from 1962. Page 15 only. Only shows this woman here getting ready to go out. Something's happening, and that's it. Okay, on the other page, there's some other stuff. I don't even think it's from the Spider-Man story. It is Steve Ditko's It is Steve Ditko's. Said I'd watch for you. I'm watching for you. It is a Steve Ditko story, but I don't think it's even from the Spider-Man story. So these are still currently going, but it's page 15 only of that book. And it's not really, that great a shape. I mean, it's okay. It's, uh, and I wish I could, show you, and I could, but I'm not going to take the time. The second one from the left is Amazing Spider-Man #1, for 1963, page 14 only. Now that does depict Spidey in 9-page grid on the back. We have 9-page grid. Ditko like to stick with that early on. $185.50. It ends in, again, 19 hours from the same guy from Blizzard that I bid, plus $17.50. They're like, yeah, it's costly, but you can buy multiple items with him and pay only one shipping. And these are slab books. His non-slab books are not that expensive to ship, just to let you know. The next one over is X-Men #1. Ooh, with the Beast and Magneto and Angel and Miss Marvel. So you got about all of them in. They're battling Magneto. Page 14 only, going for $63. It's one page. It's not the whole thing. Cyclops is on the other. So X-Men #1, that's what you want to see. They would probably go much higher. And the one all the way over to the right is a DC from Batman #1, $157.50, ends in like tomorrow. 18 hours, almost 19 hours. Spring 1940, 23rd page only, tape on page. Am I seeing any tape? It's got a great ad on the back. The Big Six Comics magazine still lead the field. Action Comics with Superman. On sale about the 23rd of every month, it says. You know what? This is such a classic ad. I'm going to stop sharing that and then just bring that one up so you can see it. There we go. I could magnify that. We have Sandman in Adventure Comics, Batman in Detective Comics, Ultraman. You ever heard of Ultraman? This is 1940, very early on in All American Comics. I'm not even sure how long All American Comics ran. The Spectre in Fun Comics. I think Starman was also in Fun Comics. And Flash Comics. Flash. And then on the back, we have we have a text story, Two Aces, by George Shoot, whatever. Is it the whole story? Yeah, I can see the tape there. It's not the whole story. So we have a neat ad, and we have most of a story, probably a 2-page story. It is slabbed. But it's not graded. It's just, they're PG, says off-white pages on this thing. First appearance of the Joker, this issue, and Catwoman and the cat. It says Catwoman in brackets. Hugo's strange appearance, Batman and Robin pin up on back cover, which, this is only the 23rd page, and there's tape on the bottom of that page a little bit. Bill Finger story, Bob Kane and Jerry Robertson covering art. None of that matters because it's only a page, a wrap. So is it worth probably this is probably at least going to get $200. We might check back in. I could put a watch on this and see. It really doesn't matter to me that much, but not sad, for sure, showing you the books, All American Comics. I have to look that up. Ultraman. That's kind of obscure. Uh, that was a joke, right? I mean, send me the I put it in there. Psh, you just sent me a link to generic Restream website. I just made an account for nothing. Oh, what? Well, that's what that's showing up in the bracket. Howder 6480 in the house. Let me see. Go over here to. You might want to use Restream at some point for something. It's letting me enter the studio from that link, I believe. Maybe you're right. Maybe it just sent me to generic reset. Dillard says, hey. All right, well, let's. Confusing. Okay. Let me refresh the page. I don't know if this is going to screw everything up or not. I don't want to reload the site. No, hell no. Anyway, sorry about that, Dillard. I don't know. Just don't know. So that was some of the coverless comics. There's one that ended Daredevil #1. Coverless. Click on it and see what it says here because I don't remember if it's the complete coverless comic. It's only missing the cover. Yeah, it's only missing the cover. So Daredevil #1, first appearance of Daredevil, $448. But it is the complete book, and you have to add $17.50 to that because it was a NG whatever slabbed one, whatever that is, not graded. That's what that means. I guess PG is a page. NG is not graded. It's slab, but it's not graded. It's coverless. Because a coverless like that's probably going to get a 0.5 grade. On the back is an ad, so you get to see the splash page, the origin of Daredevil, the nice splash page. And remember this cover if you are one of the fortunate few who bought the first copy. You probably wouldn't part with it for anything showing Amazing Spider-Man #1 on the splash page. That's good branding. And I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So here you go, splash page. Stan Lee story, Bill Everett art, Bill Everett and Jack Kirby cover, which doesn't matter because you don't have the cover. Origin and first appearance of Daredevil, Matt Murdock, first appearance of Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. So there's two underling characters. Something like this with the new Netflix thing might go up. I don't know. It's coverless. Paying over $450 for it when you include shipping, which they're very generous on the shipping. So is something like that worth it to you? But now that's not exact everything I wanted to focus on was coverless comics. Actually, no, not at all. I wanted to show segments, page segments that I actually bid on. Only a couple dollars, sometime in the instance of maybe just $1. I've done business with Blizzard in the past, Blizzard Comics. Anybody wants the link, I can give them the link. That's where I got like some of the Gordon Bread, Flash Gordon things, promo, a lot of the Harvey books. I don't know how I got on him again. I've done a lot of business with him, but on another eBay site. I just recognize that because he's got actually, stuff up here. That popped up. But now they had some Action Comics Vigilante, which is Vigilante, I guess, is set in modern times. I'm not sure in the Golden Age if it would be set in the modern times or, I think he had a motorcycle, but here's at the bottom, Action Comics number 47, only the paper segments. Only the Vigilante story. So somehow the rap come or whatever, maybe they just like Vigilante. The kid tore them out. I don't know, but they had some Vigilante sections. And how many pages that is, I don't know. It's the Vigilante story from 1942. $36. Plus they're paying $7.50 to ship because these aren't slabbed. But you combine that, they're paying over $40 for not the complete comic, just a portion of Action Comics number 7 for 1942. I mean, there's other examples, but these were some the Vigilante from number 50 of Action Comics, $37. Plus you have to put $7.50 on shipping. Number 51 section went for $15.50 plus the $7.50. Number 52, number 52, $22.50. Number 53, the story, $33. So different, Kirby did the artwork to some of those, and that might have upped the price on some of these stories. I don't know why. So it's an auction. So, but they're all getting pretty good pricing. $51. So you put the $7.50 onto that, almost $60 just for the sheets to number 57, and it's not even the oldest issue. And it doesn't look like Kirby artwork to me, so I don't know why. 58, maybe they got in a bidding war. Number 58 went for $57 plus shipping. Number 60 here, $51. And these are just comic sections. Number 69 here from 1944, $81. I believe that one does have Jack Kirby artwork. I have to click on these. I'm really not sure if Vigilante is modern times or if he's back in the Old West. I think he's actually in modern times. I'd have to look at some of these pages and see. I think that did it for the Vigilante sections. But regardless if he's modern times or not, it's like, wow, look at the prices that people are paying for just a portion of books, not even necessarily, the complete thing. Let's see what this one is. This is X-Men number 1, loose, last page. And it's only ads, but now they're asking $27.99 plus 7 shipping. No one's bid on it yet. It's not slabbed. Here's Giant Size X-Men, 1975, 16 page only. They're asking $110 for it. See what this X-Men number 1 and 1/3 of cover missing. Wow. Okay, so we got a ripped X-Men number 1 cover plus Michael, whatever his name is, wrote in red ink on it. his name, as kids were apt to do. A third of page one missing, affects story incomplete. So other than that, it is the whole book, graded 0.5, but not a great copy. And they want $3,000 for it. Okay. I mean, there's only so many X-Men's #1 out there, and you can ask what you want. But now I'm showing you stuff that people's actually getting. Here's a page from Batman #1, page 29. I don't know if I guarantee you if the Joker appeared on that or Batman, it's going to go up in price. They're asking about over $1,000 for it, but you can ask what you want, is it worth it? That's what I'm asking. Would any of this stuff be worth it to you? I don't know. I just thought I would share some of that stuff. What website is this? This is eBay. Oh, it's just eBay. Never. Yeah, it's eBay. Yeah, I mean, is it worth it? Uh, buyer beware, right? It's Let's see if you've got a wrench. Or where are you at? I don't even see you on YouTube yet. So I don't know about you, precious time traveler. And precious time traveler, oh, that's probably my villainous enemy. Not really, buddy. All the way from New Zealand. If you haven't hit that like button, you may not want to. Oh, there you are. 293 subscribers. Oh, yeah, 23 videos. Late night rant. Okay. Live in 2 hours. So you get a late night rant. Okay. All right. Now, no, you're not Captain Finity. That's great. So, precious time traveler, good to see you. It's confusing because I have to go to eBay to drop this. There you go. There's his YouTube channel in the chat. And I will confer upon you. Oh, you already have a wrench. Well, okay. Well, there we go. Done deal. It's good to see you again. Yes, it's eBay. I don't do much with eBay nowadays. But I thought, okay, this would be a good little short video to do. I couldn't get it to record, even after freeing up some space on StreamYard and Restream. You have to upgrade and get off their free plan to actually record. One good thing about Restream is you can have guests on, which is different than StreamYard. So it's got its pros and cons. But yeah, I thought, well, it's been a while since I've talked about coverless comics. We all know that complete coverless comics, or maybe even some incomplete books, but it's going up into the Bronze Age, as you see, people at least asking for money for just a portion of a key book. And it might, it helps if it has some graphics on it and it's not just an ad, or you get maybe a letters page or an ad, a cool ad, or some kind of ad, some kind of, no, but I would say if it's just a shoe store ad and maybe on the back it's got like sea monkeys, somebody might like the sea monkey ad. I heard recently Aldi is selling sea monkeys again, which are brine shrimp, by the way, and they don't last that long once you add the water. So just spoilers. Um, but actually, I said, oh, what got me over to eBay was issue Spawn Comics 228, and I'll show you the cover to that right now off of X. I wasn't sure if I had this one in my collection. I do like Action Comics #1 homage covers and have several of them. Here's a few more. I have this Popeye from 2012 from IDW. It's not near mint shape, but it's got some bends in it. It needs a good pressing. But for what I gave for it, I didn't pay that much, and that's a fairly thick book. I have this amazing Spider-Man that is Todd McFarlane cover, Todd McFarlane insides. I used to have most of those uh, in my first collection. Not so much now, you know. And then reprints of Action Comics #1. Uh, I've got some of those. But I didn't know if I had this Spawn 228. Maybe because I think with 228 they did a lot of homage covers. But I wanted to make sure, and I went over to eBay, and I got sidetracked. So so I'll do a search right now on what issue did I say? 228, and we'll see what comes up if there were multiple covers. Woo! February 2013. Of course, this is best match. $86, 12 bids. Wow. So here's 2013 recent comic. Spawn did have some years where sales were down. I mean, low print, you know. I'll take that X down because that's confusing to me. I've got too many screens open. Okay, here we are. Earthquake. Okay, so we got a new listing here, $60, $6.99. Another one, $45. Mexican version, though. This is Mexican version of it, which might even be rare, Yeah, here's 222, 223, 228, 231. See, 2012. Well, the other one said 2013. We got a Spider-Man homage. I'm sure that character's supposed to be Venom. Probably riffing on some Todd stuff. Spawn the Dead. Yeah, you got Walking Dead. And you've got the $299. Wow. With 12 to ship. And you have one of Spider-Man 2099 homage cover in that lot. And I just want, okay, let's go cheapest here because you can go best match or ending soonest, newly listed, lowest price, highest price, which if I'm looking for a graded book, I'd want highest. I go lowest here and it starts giving me stuff that's unrelated, like Fantastic Four, shoot. Ego Spawn. That's the reason why. It's issue 228. in Fantastic Four. What are the odds? Same issue number, and it has Spawn on the cover. Ego Spawn, a character called Ego Spawn. Wow. What's the chances of that? Maybe that's why he did it on that particular issue. I don't know. Hidden Facts by Todd McFarlane. All right, Spawn number multiple size poster prints. Okay, that's poster prints. Non-applicable. We're looking for the book. What would the book cost? Spawn 220X, full metallic variant. I can't believe that's rare. $40. All right, Mexican version. You can get that Mexican version for $45. Does it differ? Yeah, I think a little bit. Just on the pricing. But what would an American version? Okay, so $60 plus $6.99. So it costs you almost $70 to get that book from 2013, February 2013. Wow. So, and I've got to believe that Action Comics #1 is the driver of that. Can modern comics be worse? Sure. Can colorless comics be worth something? Sure. Can just one page from even a non-key issue, from say 60 years ago? If you're old enough, hell, I'm almost 60, born in 60 and a 65. November 65, well, I'll be 60. Can that be worth something? Sure. Something's worth what somebody will give you for it. Part of that is marketing. Sometimes you get in a Timmy the Timid Ghost. Here's a story for you. LZ had a issue. It was maybe worth about $2 to $5 on eBay. Not anything. Old Charlton book. And they got in a bidding war and way overpaid. Or did they? I mean, they got what they wanted. They didn't renege on the deal, but they paid about $42 for that book that you could, and maybe they didn't know how to do a search. The first year I got on eBay, I didn't do any searches, and I probably overpaid for everything. Do a search, get the cheapest price. Cheaper is not always better, but and will they deliver? Will there be problems? How do they ship? That's with anything that you send through the mail. I've had Cyberfrog boxes crushed, and that was UPS. That wasn't even local mail. So how do they get it to you? Are they consistent? You have to pay for good service sometimes. But yeah, just wanted to talk about coverless comics, pages from sections. I'm amazed really that some of those vigilante sections, because that is very niche within they call comics overall niche, but there's back in the day, I know 40 years ago, I wouldn't even looked at that. I would have been scoffing. I would have said that's trash. I was like, give me something near mint or the best copy that I can find, and on the stands, because 40 years ago you were limited on your resource. I mean, hell, there wasn't even really an internet till around 95, and very few people were on it. So thank you, Al Gore, by that way, you scumbucket. Yeah, he invented the internet. Yeah, right. He couldn't invent a hangnail, in my opinion. Anyway, it's just my opinion. Yeah, I have some coverless comics. I bought a few coverless comics. I bought just covers. For one thing, if you just have the cover, somebody might have a coverless comic and they might want a cover to go for it. A detached comic where the cover's detached, and I've researched this, at least under CGC, you can get a 3.5 grading. That's pretty high for a detached cover. Now, the guts have to be good, you know. You can't have some kind of bent up, chewed up mess, or maybe something with mold growing on it. In fact, if you have something you want to preserve that has mold spots on it, you can get that. I don't know where to send you, but you can get that preserved. You can get those mold spots off. And there are videos on YouTube where you can actually put it in like a homemade, tote, plastic tote chamber, and you can remove said mode uh, carefully. Don't that mode's going to grow over time. You need to either do something with it or throw it away. But now, if you have a valuable book that has mode on it, what do? Well, there's options, and then once it's cleaned, it's a safe book to board and bag, and you keep in your collection. It won't infect that book more, and it won't infect the rest of your books potentially with its spores. You don't want some outbreak, So I bought not a bunch. Like I said, I didn't want any trashy looking books in my collection. Um, at one point. I've kind of expanded my consciousness on that. Some books you're just not going to get in that great of shape. Uh, some are very rare. Do your homework. Don't get overexcited and pull that trigger too quickly. Um, After reading a little bit about it, rusted staples, rust migration can happen into the paper. I'm sure we probably all seen that. Hey, lemon pie. Um, so rust, and eventually that rust will work its way through to the staple, and then you'll have a non-stapled book, or a real mess on your hands. So when it comes to collecting comics, I would look out and avoid rusted staples if you can. There is a way to remove that rust. Again, it's a process, and the book is considered restored after that point. So it's good to see you, lemon pie. Um, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks, Howder. Thanks, precious time, promiscuous time traveler. Sorry about that. And Dillard Dross for coming in, and all the others that might see this on replay. Hell the chat, hell the replay. I hope this has been helpful. I didn't really expect it to be, a how to or helpful stream, just a stream to talk about, our page segments, worth it. I bought clippings, like the not a few examples, 1966 uh, clippings of the cartoon schedules and the TV channels, because I thought that was cool. Um, because I saw those originally. Didn't think much of them as a kid, but it is part of my very early childhood. I was born in 65. Those cartoons came out in 66. Rex, how do you remember that at all? I didn't. I didn't till not till the early 90s, and they started releasing that stuff on VHS, and it's like I've seen that because the openers are the same all the time. Edwin Acevedo in the house. We're gonna have to have you on again here pretty soon, Edwin, just to chime in and send you the link randomly sometimes, and maybe you'll pop in and surprise us. That's what I kind of like to do with the 4 o'clock shadow, is have a pop in and surprise from people. Even I don't know how the show's going to turn out. There's enough formulaic type stuff on YouTube. Um, but to get back on task, and not to obfuscate and to you know, string this thing out too long. Um, yeah, I was just kind of amazed by the sections. I guess you have to say, is it worth it? Would I invest in anything in that? Or is it just I want to read the old vigilante stories? Because those action comics are going to be a little bit more pricey, but it seems like you could get that stuff in archives. Um, for about the same price, or maybe more. Even the complete action comics, some of those later issues like that aren't that expensive. I didn't take a look at that, but why you'd want just the comic section, I don't know. But now, with that said, like I said, I've bought like clippings of certain things. There was, and there might be different reasons. I had the first Brave and the Bold Silver Age Hawkman, which I still have, and it is on my short list to have graded, um, with Joe Kubert artwork and cover. Um, and I'll probably get that slabbed at some point. Just I'm curious to see what it would come back graded. Um, and I have that stuff in reprint somewhere or can get it. So it's not like, I don't have access to that story. Most, unless it's a really obscure independent book of the golden age, it's probably been reprinted. A lot of that stuff from Atlas, and they've got the Atlas collections and timely stuff. They are reprinting and putting that stuff in archives somewhere. And you can go on eBay also and get it on disc. Big compilations of stuff just on digital. So, and you can get a physical disc from it. That I don't know if you can take off and maybe print it out and blah blah blah. I mean, there are facsimile that people make of things and staple together and sell on eBay. I'm sure it's public domain and not under copyright. Um, I've got a Captain Marvel page that features Captain Marvel. The Brave and the Bold, I didn't have the issue at the time, but and I still have some production artwork for making the showcase sort of essential books. I do have some production artwork for those issues, and I wanted a cover to go with it. And the best I could do, because it was an expensive book, because it's the first Silver Age appearance of Hawkman, and it's like 1961 or two, very early on in the DC hero stuff. So uh, the ad was and then I just focused in really close on the ad with my camera and took a picture, and that sufficed till I actually did get the book, and then I went in on my listings and actually put the book cover of my copy. Um, so that's why I bought that page, and I have a 1940s ad page for Captain Marvel, which I thought was neat. So I bought covers, I bought clip pages or page segments before. Not a lot, not a lot. Sometimes for a reason, sometimes usually for a reason. I mean, I just think it looks cool and it's cheap enough. A couple bucks here or there, it's not going to kill anybody, and it's part of you know comic history. But by and large, don't invest a lot in that. I think maybe I paid 50 something dollars for early Captain Marvel cover. Like I said, a cover can always be married with the guts of a book, and you can have a uh, potential high grade of 3.5. No higher than that for a coverless. Uh, I mean, for a detached cover. Um, I just think some of those early covers are neat. I've got books, Golden Age book. I've got a nice green llama. Bought it for 25 bucks. What's it missing? The back cover. So what? That was an ad. you're going to see Boarded and Bagged, you're going to see the cover, which is one of the greatest McRae boy wartime covers that was done. He did a lot of Captain Marvel Juniors as well. Um, one of the great wartime cover artists from the Golden Age. Um, I bought a slab because you just don't see it. First one I've ever seen ever. Uh, I'm glad to have a local comic shop that actually has things slabbed. I maybe gets them in on trades. I don't know where they get their books from, but they have slab books for sale. And I bought a 0.5 Fantastic Four annual #1, a book you rarely see out in the wild, especially here in the South. It's, you know, I'm just glad they have some back issues, although they might be expensive. I thought, it being slabbed, graded, came back unrestored, blue label. It's only a 0.5, but if you look for something as comparable, in condition, because it was an excellent condition, except it was missing the back ad cover. And exposed you to something on the back that I thought was even more exciting. The last page of Fantastic Four #1. I'm so dissatisfied with the labeling on some things. I think you can request, if you have something slabbed, that say that this is the first cover appearance of Devil Flyer or Hopper on a cover, and they may do it. Often they'll leave key stuff off. I was looking at those green printing error Fantastic Four issues that I showed on the 4 o'clock shadow today, and which will run you over $400 in any kind of shape on eBay. And I lost my train of thought, but something like that, it's pretty wild. It's what a person's willing to pay. Is it worth it? Only the person buying the piece can say that it's worth it. I've overpaid on certain things, looking down through time, like this is something I want. This is something I want in my collection. I don't mind overpaying a little now because I feel like this item has potential and will be worth a lot more later. I have done that. If it's something you're going to keep and you want in your collection, make sure you got it locked in, secured. I mean, I put off way too long really getting a first appearance of Wolverine. I could have got it 40 years ago. It would have been costly, but not near. It would have been worth, a key book that you could sell for pretty good amount, just in good condition. A few years back, finally broke down, bought an Incredible Hulk 180, which I consider his first appearance, but I've been beaten out by the fans. They want 181 to be his first appearance, so whatever. But I bought $15. It's about worth 80 or about $100 now. Even in lower grade, like good condition, bent up and whatnot. A lot of breakage of color along the spine and stuff. Dog ear. I don't know. A decent copy, but you wouldn't want it to get in any worse shape. It'd be falling apart on you. I bought the first Doom Patrol with Doom Patrol on the, for the title. It was My Greatest Adventures. Was that the first comic they appeared in? No, but it was the first one they appeared in, calling itself the Doom Patrol. And it's a great cover with a gorilla cover, Monsieur Brain and his gorilla on the cover. It's just a great classic cover. Bought that one for $15 in lower grade. It's going for about the same amount, about 100 now. So, there's some affordable books you can buy in lower grades that are key issues that will go up, and will increase in value, you know, double your money, triple your money, quadruple your money, more, you know. If it doesn't take much to double $15, and it's still affordable. $100 book is a lot more affordable in bad times and in good economy times than say $1,000 book, you know. But I'm unwilling to get rid of certain books that I feel like have a lot of potential, like the first appearance of Harley Quinn, just for raw, got $200. Woo! Okay. And you could say, okay, $200 is worth it. I'll snowball it. I'll make it into something. You could do that. You could certainly do that. I'd rather have the $200 and make it work for me, you know, and get it off the shelf, and use that shelf space for something else. But that I think is for many reasons, I think will be a key book. And at least I know I have an 8.5. LZ actually offered me his 9.2, but it's like, I am so curious about what this would come back. And I feel like it's going to be an 8.5, but let's see. So I have one book graded and this year and sent it off last year. Quick turnaround. I would go with CBCS grading if you're going to have anything slab. That's my little opinion on it. There's PGX. There's cheaper ways to go. I would say hopefully that CBCS at least has much as respect as CGC, and I don't have much respect for CGC. As a grading company. But do your research, make your own mind up. They will grade, they will slab, they won't grade. I think portions of a book, but certainly you can get them slabbed if you want to preserve it. For something like that, I think that's a waste. I think, if it's a key issue, yeah, I could see that. But get a board and bag, a Mylar, and you can get a top loader, a Mylar slipped into a top loader probably, and preserve it just as well, as having it slabbed. It seems a little ridiculous to me, but they're offering a service and people are taking advantage of that service, and they're willing to pay for it. So if a person's willing to pay for it, don't assume it's junk and throw it out. I've told the story about Robert. He had went to a laundry somehow, always thinking comics, so he must have brought it up. But he said, I don't know how we got on the subject. Well, you probably brought it up, but maybe not. Maybe the woman said, I got some of these comics. I'm just trying to find a dumpster big enough to dump them in, and dropped off at the laundry here to see if they had a big dumpster. I don't know, but they got in a conversation and she said, I've got a box of comics out here. If you're interested in them, you can have them for free. And he got to looking in the box. You got early Golden Age books that are worth a lot. He sold one of the lesser conditions that he didn't care for of Wonder Woman for over $3,000. That was one book. He said, lady, I got to be honest with you. Some of these books are valuable. And it's like, well, I'm a teacher. I wanted to show them at school, but they're Nazi covers. I can't do it. And I just want to get rid of them. Some people are just, they don't care if it's worth money or not. They just want it out of their way, out of their lives, and that may sound crazy to you, but I get it. Believe me, there's been times I've just wanted to dump my whole collection out on the yard and say, woo, my house is clean. Crazy thoughts, but sometimes you get tired of moving things around. Have you ever been that way? Anyway, yeah, so he came, with a Holy Grail box full of Golden Age books for free. Didn't cost him anything. He immediately turned around on eBay and bam, just like I said, that one book. And there was others. And he kept the cream of the crop, for his own collection. Probably still has those books today. Uh, you know, or turn that into something. He was into slabbing X-Men books and had over 500 issues from issue 1 slabbed all the way up to past 500. And most of them were 9.8. Incredible collection. He had to sell it because of medical reasons. Uh, but he's still got production artwork and all kinds of original artwork and key books and stuff like that. He's a millionaire when it comes. Your collection accrue value to where you become a millionaire. A lot of millionaires are millionaires and they don't even know it. It's their assets. Once you sell everything, do you have $1 million? Can your collection grow so vast and accrue so much value over time that you become a millionaire? Sure. Takes a while. Depends on how you do it. You can snowball things. There's one collector that takes slab books. Like I said, he'll buy 4, he'll keep one that he wants to keep, and he'll sell the other 3. And then with that money, and he may even put, from that profit. Now you have to work it, but if you need to know your hobby, and do your research and stuff, but it can be done. You can snowball and take a little bit of money. You can take $1 in your pocket and snowball it into $1 million if you're smart enough. The principle of doubling. Elsie's like, well, you need to at least double your money, and you probably do, to have a little bit of profit to get your money back and to pay your fees, because you're probably going to have some kind of site. It might be advantageous for you to make a super website and, advertise the hell out of that, instead of using like eBay and just selling privately like that, you have items, one-of-a-kind items, and they're one-of-a-kind items you can buy on eBay. I've done it. Elsie's done it. It's been incredible, the finds that we found, of original artwork, original production artwork, original, he's got a Jack Kirby oil painting. I've got a Jack Kirby book that there was only 60 made, and it was only in a club of contributors to the book. Those are the only ones that were printed. It wasn't even up for sale. You had to be a member, and I bought mine from a member that was willing to sell his book. That's the same guy that I bought the John Buscema preliminary drawings from. And there was only 60 made of those, and it wasn't ever available for sale. How rare is that? Pretty rare, but Jack Kirby oil painting signed by Jack Kirby, that's, no matter what the subject matter, that's even rare. One-of-a-kind item. You can buy one-of-a-kind items on eBay. That's what's amazing. And I hate eBay. eBay is not a perfect site whatsoever. I've been burned by them, banned by them, all kinds of stuff. It's not perfect at all. I've had stuff stolen from me. There are scams. Just like on any site, you have to watch out. I had the first appearance of Punisher, 2 pieces of production artwork out of Brazil from Amazing Spider-Man 129, first appearance of Punisher, the cover and the splash page. So the splash page, no problem. They were happy. I got my money. So the cover, they didn't want to pay. I had to file against them on eBay. I got my money. A week later, they filed on me using, after I sent them the item. The policy is if they're unhappy with it, they're supposed to send it back to you. They alleged, they didn't offer any proof. For one, they said it was fake. It was a fake item. It was a pirated item, whatever. It was a fake, which okay, what's your documentation for that? What's your expertise in that? eBay just took their word for it. They used the eBay policy against me. Then they filed against me, and I had to pay them back the money they paid me for the piece. So they wound up with the piece and my money. And I was like, when were you going to tell me this? And eBay said, we weren't. It was none of your business. And I was like, they destroyed my property allegedly, which I think it's hanging up on their wall right now, you know. And they got the item for free, and they got the item, but they said it was fake. With no, and eBay just, you know, because the buyer's always right. If you're a seller on eBay, you'll find out you got very limited rights. It's seller. I had a seller after 3 days of buying vehemently from me, 63 items, I think it was. I got everything packaged and sent off. And they said all of a sudden, offering no reason whatsoever, I don't want the items anymore. I want a refund. I said, no, not after I've looked up these 63 items in my stock, wrapped them all up secure, and sent them off to you. And he sent it back. And they said, well, he didn't get the items. I said, well, he sent it back to me. I said I could send it back to him. And they said, no, that won't work. He'll just send it back to you. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But I did everything right. I didn't violate your policy. And eBay said, so you're not gonna give him his money back? I'm like, no, I didn't break any policies. You know what eBay did? They paid him out of their own pocket, which they can afford it, you know. But I thought, okay, you're awarding bad behavior, a person that breaks your policy, just to placate them. That's how much I've got to wonder if it was a car, because I don't see how they sell cars on eBay. I really don't know how you protect yourself on eBay, to tell you the truth. I don't, because people can do stuff like that to you. I've not figured it out. Do I still sell on eBay? Yes, I do. I just sold a piece that I'm going to be mailing off tomorrow, production piece. But if they want to declare it a fake, you know, there's not much I can do, and say they destroyed it with no proof. See, eBay doesn't even question it. That's what gets my ire up, you know. So you roll your dice, you take your chances. I'm not some woke SJW just playing victim here and complaining, but I'm telling you to buyer beware, you know. But on a happier note, tomorrow, episode 1012 of the 4 o'clock shadow. I was thinking tomorrow marked 10 years of my dad's passing. Actually, it was the 4th. I had that date wrong. So it was the 4th, and we buried him quite quickly on the 6th. I thought it was the 3rd and we buried him on the 6th, but it was the 4th. So 10, and I was wrong I was thinking 11 years. It's 10 years. You know, math's a problem. Anyway, yesterday marked the 2nd, February 2nd, marked the ending or the launch of my campaign. We will be doing a soft reboot launch. Well, not too soft. I mean, the campaign will look totally different. Well, not totally, but it'll get a makeover. A lot of new things offered up on the campaign. More things for you to buy. Woohoo! And, you know, this month is going to be busy getting that all ready. You know, a t-shirt source, get all the campaign, everything I need, scans, files, stick up on the campaign, get that ready, so that we can be ready for March 8th, 3 a.m. Central, 4 Eastern time, doing the reboot over on Red Valkyrie. Excited about that. And that gives me a deadline to get all this stuff done. I'm sure John Diller was like, "Where's my scan? I need to color. I need to color your Jimmy Reyes wraparound cover." And it's like, "Yes," and I need to get you some money for that. So and a good scan so you can do that. Um, Sorry you couldn't come in, John, to talk about that, but we will. I will talk to you in the next few days about that because he would definitely. Uh, uh, if you need an artist, go see John Dillard. He'll get it to you and get it to you quick. No matter what's on his table. If you really need it, he'll work with you. I don't know that he'll work for just anybody, but I feel very blessed that he's doing work for me and will continue to do so. I hope so. Um, and we've expanded, for the Devil Flyer book. I think people will be very satisfied. We have Jay Krieger double page spread that I've shown recently. We have at least the main cover, the inside front cover, 2-page inner man story. And he's going to do 4 more pages, Devil Flyer and Silver Boa double page spreads. So that's 8 pages that he's going to have in the book. Plus, he's probably going to do the coloring on the back of the cover. So lots of John Dillard, Uh, absolutely, Howder. Thank you for dropping that. Go check out his latest over there on his own channel. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow or sometime soon. Bow for now.